Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, we'll take a look back at some of the top stories that made 2019 an unforgettable year.
From unveiling the city's first ever mobile stroke unit to going behind the scenes to see what new tools and resources the Torrance Police Department is using to help fight crime.
To the latest upgrades and improvements made this past year in the city, to new eateries and businesses to call Torrance home in 2019.
These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your holiday look-back show starts right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
And I'm Jin Chun. Thanks so much for joining us on this special holiday edition of This Week in Torrance.
Here are some of the top stories that made 2019 memorable. In an effort to reduce the city's carbon footprint, Torrance was recognized for their solar initiatives in 2019. City Council accepted a Solsmart Gold Designation and Special Recognition Award. It's a national designation funded by the United States Department of Energy, recognizing communities that have taken steps to address local barriers to implementation and installation of solar energy systems. The city earned the highest honor based on points earned from its basic permitting and planning programs for solar and an additional 200 points for achievement in the special focus areas. The city, over a two-year period from 2017 to 2018, had a reduction of 55.6 tons of greenhouse gases. What a great accomplishment. The city also received a special recognition for its permitting programs and practices.
Then the community rallied together to renovate a local historic site. Here's a look at the brand new Ruben Ordaz Community Center on Volunteer Painting Day as the project was completed. Torrance Refining Company employees along with community members got their hands dirty as they planted California-friendly flowers and beautified the Ruben Ordaz Community Center. These were the final touches of the nearly two-month renovation project. After the service day, council members and partners who helped make the upgrades come to life attended a celebratory ceremony.
As a longtime community member in North Torrance, the Torrance Refining Company wanted to do something special for their 90th anniversary this year. And the Pueblo community on Del Amo Boulevard has always been a partner with the refinery.
This project itself helps the city in a way that it helps provide a very clean and nice looking visual. When people drive through our city, they can see this building has a lot of history to it.
So that this is the place where everybody in this neighborhood can gather and enjoy quality of life that we all expect in the city of Torrance. And in the meantime, we can remember that Ruben's watching over us.
The refinery donated nearly $75,000 to complete this project. In partnership with Retro Builders and on behalf of ShareFest, volunteers painted the exterior of the building, installed a new front door, and added light fixtures as well. They also built a new concrete patio and two pads for the installation of park tables and benches. The refinery worked with Irene Ordaz, the wife of late Ruben Ordaz, who was an active member of the Torrance community. They hope to continue to keep his memory alive. The center is located at 2254 Del Amo Boulevard. Irene Ordaz hopes to renovate the inside as well someday.
Speaking of renovations, various city departments completed a number of renovations and projects over the course of the year. As part of the Community Services Department's capital improvement project, the playground equipment was replaced at El Nido and Sur La Brea parks. At El Nido, they now have engineered wood fiber, a 4-seat seesaw, new swings, and climbers with a balance bridge link. Then Sur La Brea Park also reopened with a brand new playground. Then the Public Works Department completed its slurry seal project and covered 770,000 square feet of residential and 807,000 square feet of arterial streets, giving commuters smooth roads to drive on. Then the Downtown Torrance Active Transportation Improvement Project was completed, along with 104,000 square feet of sidewalks repaired. There were also improvements to curbs, driveways, and new bicycle lanes were added.
Then a highlight of the year was the announcement of a visitor center soon coming to the Del Amo Fashion Center. Officials hope to open it by June 2020. The California Office of Tourism, in partnership with Visit California, approved a conditional designation for the center to open at the mall. Submissions of finalized plans, signage, materials, and branding were submitted in September, along with an outline of the experience and activities that will be available at the center for visitors. The proposed Welcome Center will be near the lifestyle section and outdoor village. The footprint includes 51 square feet of open space. Officials say the mall is a standalone destination in California, attracting more than 20 million visitors per year. The Welcome Center will build on the existing foot traffic and hopes to attract new visitors to plan their getaways in Southern California or other Golden State cities.
With the rise of opioid addictions, Torrance Police Department this year received equipment to save lives when called out to an overdose emergency. Torrance CitiCABLE reporter Hibah Samad has the story.
So when they stop breathing, any type of progress with that helps.
Loss of consciousness and even shallow breathing are familiar signs of an overdose. Torrance police officer and CPR first aid instructor Blake Williams knows firsthand. And with time of the essence during this emergency, every officer now in Torrance is better equipped to give that person another chance.
So Narcan is a medication that reverse or blocks the effects of an opioid. Opioids including heroin, even to the extremely synthetic and potent fentanyl.
Narcan is also commonly known as naloxone, and here at the Torrance Police Department, there are 144 kits distributed. A pouch has 2 doses of nose sprays, allowing officers a chance to take action right away to revive the person rather than wait.
You'd lay them down on their back. While performing CPR, you would just take this out of the package, insert it into the person's nostril, and spray it. In the past, we've had instances here where officers have arrived on scene, seen a person unconscious, it's an apparent opioid-induced, injury, and historically we would just perform CPR and then we'd have to wait until fire got there.
Recent findings by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows the start of a third wave of an opioid epidemic, with the drug fentanyl being one of the most popular and leading causes of fatal overdoses in the country. Since 2014, fentanyl overdoses have increased by 50% in Los Angeles County alone. The drug is approximately 100 times stronger than morphine.
A few granules of fentanyl, if you were to inhale it, could kill you.
Williams says Narcan also helps his fellow police members stay safe during investigations. In November 2018, Torrance City Council recognized the need and approved the police department to receive the Narcan kits through a state-funded project.
So this is just another tool that, like I said, has every potential to save a life. And that's invaluable to us because, like I said before, our #1 job is to protect the community and the people that live there.
The police department shared with Torrance CitiCABLE how they're using drones to fight crime, giving us a behind-the-scenes look. Torrance CitiCABLE reporter Colleen Farrell has that story.
This is the Torrance Police Department. Come out now with your hands up.
Meet the Mavic 2, one of 3 types of drones being used by the Torrance Police Department's unmanned aerial system team. What started out as a small experiment has since expanded to up to 20 drone missions per month. More and more drones are being deployed where previously an LAPD helicopter was called in, saving the department money and manpower.
It provides us an aerial view of all these different scenarios. It's increased our officer safety tenfold.
Officers must follow strict guidelines when deploying a drone. Drones can't be equipped with a weapon or used for surveillance. What they can do is be the eyes and ears to keep officers out of harm's way.
Imagine turning a corner and the suspect popping up in front of you and you had no idea he was there. It might lead to a deadly confrontation. Whereas now we can kind of plan our movements and take the suspect into custody, hopefully with no force at all.
When the action starts and it gets exciting, we can put the drone up and we can stand back and see what's happening, so we don't have to rush in, so we don't have to get actually physically close to a person to see what's going on.
Another useful feature is the drone's infrared sensor. It detects heat, helpful in locating suspects and also coyotes in the neighborhood. Drones are also replacing tactical robots during indoor searches and hostage situations. Live video captured by drones can be streamed directly to a remote command post or an officer's cell phone. One of the advantages to using drones over tactical robots is their ability to maneuver over stairs and other obstacles. This gives officers a live view over dangerous situations.
If we can get a drone into the location, we'll do that first before any officers have to go inside, because it's much better than, obviously a drone being damaged or shot or hit out of the sky, much better than an officer being shot.
Additional benefits for drone use in law enforcement continue to be discovered. Officer Dave Maitland sees a future where drones could one day be instantly deployed from a remote location across the city.
People are just now realizing the view that you see and the tool that it is and how much it does help for officer safety, liability, and so many things. I think it's going to go so much farther.
For now, Mavic 2 and its partner drones are ready for action. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Colleen Farrell.
Thanks, Colleen. Funding for the Torrance Police Department drone program was made possible by the Torrance Police Foundation.
The Torrance Fire Department made history as it received another rare distinction as it officially became accredited by the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. Here's a look back at the hearing when the city got the news.
Congratulations, Torrance. Thank you.
Torrance Fire Chief Martin Cerna, city staff, and Councilman Jeff Rizzo were in attendance at the hearing, where the commission had the opportunity to ask Chief Cerna questions about the report that was submitted as a part of the process. One person said they were impressed by the report, and it was rare to ever see the word superb being used. Torrance Fire received accreditation through the Center for Public Safety Excellence, granted by the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. This makes the fire department the 73rd in the nation and only the 5th in the state of California to have an ISO Class 1 rating and accreditation. The process assists fire and emergency agencies around the world in achieving organizational and professional excellence. It's an international recognition of achievement and shows the community that the agency is performing to the industry's best practices and is holding itself accountable through external peer review.
We are truly excited and humbled to be sitting before your honorable body. The City of Torrance takes great and extreme pride in providing the highest level of public service throughout our community. When we embarked on this journey, we were unsure where it would lead us. But along the way, we discovered new opportunities to provide higher levels of service to our community.
Then the Torrance Unified School District kicked off the new school year with a new security system that keeps track of visitors on campus through technology. Torrance CitiCABLE reporter Colleen Farrell shares with us how the system works.
Shirvani Kraus is starting off the new school year with a little more peace of mind about her children's safety.
It's an easy way to identify who's allowed to be on campus and who isn't. And as a parent and a volunteer, I also feel safer knowing that I'm with people on the campus that have the right intentions and are cleared.
Hickory Middle School has been piloting the Raptor Visitor Volunteer Management System for the last 2 years. Upon entering campus, visitors and volunteers are asked to present government-issued identification with a barcode, such as a driver's license, to be scanned or manually entered into the system. Raptor checks the visitor's name and date of birth for comparison with a national database of registered sex offenders. Visitors then receive a Raptor badge to wear on campus.
The more safe we can make campuses to be for our kids and our community, it's just another layer of support to help us screen out people. And so it's very easy and friendly to use for our office staff, and it's really good for our community to feel safe leaving their kids here at our campus.
Due to the pilot program's success, Raptor rolls out district-wide this year, a timely addition as campus security remains top of mind nationwide. Students have also been trained to look for visitors not wearing appropriate ID and report them to teachers and administrators. An added benefit, in the event of a campus or community disaster, first responders will know upon arrival who is on campus and where. Installation of the Raptor system is just the latest step to create a comprehensive safety system district-wide. Over the past few years, parameters were secured with this fencing, and this camera keypad was installed. Other recent district security enhancements include purchase of the 1-2-3 lockdown latch that enables teachers to lock their classrooms down from the inside within seconds, and campus surveillance cameras. It's all part of an ongoing effort to make campuses a place to focus on learning instead of safety. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Colleen Farrell.
Well, in 2019 alone, the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce hosted a number of ribbon cuttings for new businesses in the city. Urban Plates opened its doors on the boulevard right across from the Del Amo Fashion Center and the new 24-hour fitness. The fast casual restaurant serves made-to-order meals from scratch using ethically sourced ingredients. It offers customers a wide variety of fresh seasonal salads, sandwiches, steak, seafood, and chicken options, soups, and much more. Then Smog City Brewing Company took over another Torrance space to where former Zymergy Brew Works used to be. It offers classic Smog City beers and experimental offerings on tap. Then another brewery also expanded by offering customers food with specialized modern British cuisine by taking traditional dishes and putting a twist on it. It's located inside Yorkshire Square Brewery that serves proper British beer and cask ales. Then across town, Sugar Free Shack opened its doors, providing an alternative to Sweet Delights. It's a bakery offering healthier dessert options using quality superfood ingredients. Then the newest 7-Eleven opens in the city with its first new concept store to open in Los Angeles County. They offer freshly baked pastries, cookies, a self-serve hot food station, and even nitro brew, to name a few. They are located at 3560 Redondo Beach Boulevard. Plus, a new automotive company unveiled a new concept to driving by selling it on a subscription model. The first car from Canoo is due in 2021, and also the first electric car produced by the same company. Then the much-anticipated addition at the Torrance Salvation Army was finally unveiled. The Donald and Priscilla Hunt Performing Arts Academy and the George and Henrietta Hunt Chapel finally opened. The academy serves the community, but especially low-income families, offering music, dance education, and opportunities to develop skills in those fields. And four-legged furry friends now have a new place to visit. Dogtopia opened its first South Bay location. The doggy daycare, boarding, and spa facility is supervised by certified canine coaches. Southwood Pharmacy opened its location where residents can receive special service with all of their health care needs, from flu shots, immunization, and medication therapy management, to name a few.
The City of Torrance now houses a one-of-a-kind ambulance that brings top-of-the-line medical care to patients suffering from a stroke. Torrance City Cable reporter Hibah Samad was there during the unveiling.
Stroke victims in the South Bay now have a higher chance of survival thanks to this mobile stroke unit, a first of its kind in the West Coast.
When there's a blockage in a large blood vessel of the brain, a major blood vessel, with the tissue being deprived of oxygenation, each minute that goes by, 2 million neurons die. So let's say we can save 30 to 45 minutes from the time the patient has symptom onset to treatment.
Dr. May Noor has been leading the mobile stroke unit in Los Angeles County and says this type of ambulance is bringing the hospital to the patient, providing urgent care and treatment to stroke victims faster than ever.
See at firsthand the devastating effects of stroke when someone can't speak, can't communicate with their family members, cannot walk because part of their body is plegic, and so forth. And I see when we return blood flow to the tissue of the brain what that does.
The unit was also a vision of Los Angeles County Board of Supervisor Janice Hahn, who saw a need for this type of care. And now, thanks to Bond Measure B sponsors and the community, the free service runs 7 days a week across LA County, with the possibility of now reaching 1.5 million lives.
Unfortunately, my own dad suffered from a stroke and spent the final 10 years of his life dealing with the debilitating effects of that stroke.
A common tie between supporters who came out to the launch in front of Torrance City Hall. Hahn and medical professionals say every minute counts when a stroke happens. Once a 911 call is made, that is when the mobile unit comes into play and will dispatch. Upon arrival, it provides a conclusive diagnosis of the type of stroke and treatment immediately. It's part of a national study to see the effectiveness of such a resource. The stroke unit has a built-in CT scanner, point-of-care lab tests, clot-busting medication, and much more. Medical personnel such as a critical care nurse, CT technician, paramedic, and a telehealth connection with a neurologist is all available in the unit.
The stroke unit, the mobile stroke unit, is actually going to take over patient care and provide that extra added service, but our paramedics that responded initially will still remain on scene.
Torrance Fire Chief Martin Cerna says in 2018 alone, 202 people suffered from a stroke just in the city. Nationwide, a stroke occurs every 40 seconds.
This is a really big deal for us. Our residents, the residents of the greater South Bay, and our visitors will have access to this groundbreaking program that will ultimately improve the quality of our lives.
Once the patient is stabilized, they are transported to the best hospital nearby. Dr. Noor says the step into the future is something she never thought would happen and is looking forward to making this available across the country in hopes of saving lives one patient at a time. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Hibah Samad.
Well, the Rhodium Open Air Market brought back a historic experience to people here in the South Bay, bringing the big screen to life. Let's take a look.
Summer lovin', happy at last.
Summer lovin' was indeed in the air.
Sammy! What are you doing here?
Blame it on Sandy, Danny, and the Rhodium in Torrance. The classic 1950s drive-in sold more than 400 tickets to its showing of the 1970s classic, Grease. Hey, we got the Pink Ladies! Hi. More Pink Ladies! We got the Pink Lady here.
We have our
Pink Lady there.
TV dinners. TV dinners. Yes.
This is Grease. How can you not come and see Grease? I'm also here with my whole family. There's 7 cars here. And we're all lined up to have a great time and show the little ones, our nieces and nephews, and our little kids what the drive-in's all about.
We're going to watch a really fun movie. We're going to be sitting outside of our cars, popcorn, fun, and you can put a lot of kids in a car and only pay one price for everybody to get in.
The show is part of a series of a dozen family genre movies playing on Fridays this summer, all with an admission price of $20 per car.
We're looking forward to many more sellouts in the future.
Director of Operations Mike Romo began working at the Rhodium 53 years ago at age 10. He's seen the drive-in come full circle to eventually becoming strictly a daytime open-air market in the mid-1980s.
We couldn't compete with the other theaters, so we decided to just concentrate on the swap meet. But recently we had a lot of requests to get the movie going because a lot of people, they haven't experienced it.
Although Grease was the main attraction, a classic car show, food trucks, and a photo booth were among activities making it an interactive evening for everyone. The drive-in movie experience has changed a bit. For one thing, you're not hearing the movie through a speaker over the side of your car, but instead through an FM station. But much about the experience remains the same.
It's how we remember it. The Rhodium Drive-In here was our go-to place for both watching movies and, of course, making out. And it's a special place for us. And so to come back to that, I don't know if we're going to make out tonight, but we're enjoying the movies.
Is this the end? Of course not. It's only the beginning.
From the success of the evening, it looks like it could be the beginning of a drive-in movie revival here in Torrance. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Colleen Farrell.
A well-known traveling circus made its debut once again in the city of Torrance. Reporter Colleen Farrell was there and gives us a glimpse inside the big top.
Clowns, jugglers, and a flying trapeze. It means just one thing: the circus is in town. The Circus Vargas Big Top is assembled just east of the Del Amo Fashion Center. Inside is where the magic happens. Circus Vargas celebrates its 50th anniversary with homage to the golden era of circus. It invites guests all aboard its circus steam engine to travel back in time and relive the nostalgia of circus yesteryear.
We wanted to do something that takes us back to the beginning of circus.
The star of this year's show is Mariela Quiroga. Quiroga plays a young girl who leaves her hometown, joins the circus, and becomes a trapeze artist.
at the end of the show, she has to decide whether or not she wants to continue with the show, she's going to leave. So you have to come watch and see what happens.
Quiroga spent her youth traveling the world with Circus Vargas as an 8th-generation circus performer. Her sister Daniela is also a contortionist in the show. Their lineage includes grandfather Vittoria Arata, who now works behind the scenes, and proud parents Katja and Nelson Quiroga, who met and fell in love as performers. In 2005, the Quirogas became the 3rd owners of Circus Vargas. It's a show steeped in the tradition of its founder, Clifford Vargas.
Actually, watching my 2 daughters perform is one of the greatest feelings. Just, being part of a family business, first of all, being part of your tradition, being part of the circus tradition.
The Circus Vargas performers wear many hats. For example, before the show, you might catch them selling tickets, concessions, or even face painting. The highlights of this year's show include a mesmerizing mid-air suspension of aerial strap artists, twisting, turning tramp-a-wall action, and a death-defying ride by the Circus Vargas motorcycle daredevils inside a steel sphere.
I thought it was just amazing. The motorcycle shocked me the most. And there was a lot of things that were interesting.
The most awesome thing that we hear at the end of the day is most time, wow, I went to Circus Vargas as a kid and now I'm bringing my kid here or even my grandchild. So it's Circus Vargas has been around a long time and we hope to keep it going like this for many, many years.
A few laughs, a little fear, all shared with popcorn, cotton candy, and a caramel apple. It's an American tradition like no other. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Colleen Farrell.
The city continues to foster international relationships, especially with members of its sister city in Kashiwa, Japan. And through their student exchange program, 8 Japanese students traveled to Torrance and got to experience life as a Californian. Families in Torrance hosted the students for 10 to 12 days. They got a tour of the Civic Center, the Torrance Certified Farmers Market, the police and fire stations, and the Torrance Art Museum. They also got to experience their first baseball game, visit the Griffith Observatory, kayaked in San Diego, and much more. Now, over the summer, students from Torrance also traveled to Kashiwa, Japan, and had the opportunity to share their trip experiences at the reception. Torrance and its sister city, Kashiwa, Japan, have had cultural exchanges since 1973, when the 2 cities first became affiliated. Under the Student Cultural Exchange Program, the Torrance Sister City Association has sponsored hundreds of exchange students.
It has become a tradition for the city of Torrance for more than 100 years to participate in the annual Tournament of Roses parade in Pasadena. Volunteers work for thousands of hours to make sure the float comes to life. This year, 32 local high school students submitted their design float concepts to the Torrance Rose Float Association in hopes of being chosen. West High School student Elia Kang won as she chose the city's Pine Wind Garden as inspiration for the 2020 float. The float is named Our Garden of Hope and Dreams, featuring the garden located next to the Torrance Cultural Arts Center. It has an authentic Japanese landscape with waterfalls, a koi pond, and pathways. This makes it the city's 65th float. Well, 2019 was definitely a year to remember.
It sure was, Ben. Well, that does it for us on This Week in Torrance. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. From all of us here at CitiCABLE, we want to wish you and your family a happy and safe holiday.